Welcome back to the channel. Today, we've got something truly incredible to share with you. If you're a fan of rare collectibles, especially coins, you're in for a real treat. Stick around, because this one's going to blow your mind. By the end of this video, you might just want to start hunting for rare coins in your own pockets. Let's jump right into it. The 1977 half-dollar coin, a piece of history that has captivated the world of numismatics. It's not just any regular coin that you'd find in circulation. In fact, it's a coin that, when properly authenticated, could easily fetch millions of dollars. That's right, millions. You heard me correctly. So, how does a half-dollar coin from 1977 become so valuable? And why is it worth more than just a collector's item? Well, the story begins with the world of rare coin collecting, where some pieces are more than just currency. They become pieces of art, items of historical significance, and in some cases, treasure troves that make people very, very rich. Before we get into the fascinating details of the 1977 half-dollar, let's take a step back and look at the context of coin collecting in general. Coin collectors, also known as numismatists, are some of the most dedicated people you'll ever meet. They spend their entire lives researching, collecting, and preserving coins that hold historical significance or are exceptionally rare. The beauty of coins is that they come from all over the world, from different time periods, and tell stories about the societies, economies, and cultures of their time. Now, coins in general come in a wide range of conditions and values. Most coins that you come across in daily life are mass-produced and are worth only their face value. However, there are certain coins that were produced in limited quantities or had some defect or unique feature that makes them extraordinarily valuable. These rarities often sell for tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, and in some cases, even millions of dollars. The rarity, demand, and condition of the coin all play a role in determining its price. The 1977 half-dollar is a perfect example of this phenomenon. At first glance, it might seem like an ordinary coin. But there's a twist. The 1977 half-dollar has a fascinating backstory that makes it incredibly valuable, and understanding this is key to realizing just why this coin can fetch such an insane price on the market. First off, let's talk about the history behind the 1977 half-dollar. The coin features the iconic portrait of John F. Kennedy, a representation of the 35th President of the United States, who was tragically assassinated in 1963. The U.S. Mint began issuing the Kennedy half-dollar in 1964 as a tribute to the fallen president. This coin has been in circulation ever since and remains one of the most recognized U.S. coins to date. In 1977, the coin was minted alongside other denominations as part of the regular minting process. But like many coins, the 1977 half-dollar wasn't immune to the unique quirks of coin production. Over time, small errors or variations can occur during the minting process, resulting in coins that deviate from the standard specifications. Sometimes these errors are subtle, perhaps a slight misprint or a missing element in the design. But other times, they are significant enough to make a coin one of a kind. Now, the key to the 1977 half-dollar's extraordinary value lies in one of these rare errors. There were a very small number of 1977 half-dollar coins that were struck with a unique feature that makes them highly sought after by collectors. These coins are often referred to as double die coins. A double die coin occurs when the die that strikes the coin shifts slightly, causing the image to appear twice or misaligned. This results in an image that is more prominent or appears distorted. The double die error is one of the most coveted mistakes in coin production, and coins that feature this error can command astronomical prices. The 1977 half-dollar double die error coins are incredibly rare. In fact, only a handful of them are known to exist. When these coins are found, they are typically sold at auction, where they can fetch outrageous prices. The rarity of these coins, coupled with the historical significance of the Kennedy half-dollar design, makes them highly desirable to collectors. But why is this particular error so important? The answer lies in the rarity of the mistake itself. Coin errors are incredibly hard to come by, and when they do appear, they are often overlooked by the general public. Most people, Even coin collectors wouldn't think twice about a coin that looks slightly misaligned or has a faint double image. But true numismatists know that these mistakes are often the key to finding a treasure. The 1977 half-dollar double die error coin was first identified in the early 1980s, and since then, it has become one of the most famous and valuable coins in the world of numismatics. Because of the small number of these coins that were produced, they have become nearly mythical in the coin collecting world. As more collectors became aware of the error, demand for these coins skyrocketed, and their value continued to rise. The rarity of the coin, combined with its historical significance, has turned it into a coveted prize for anyone who collects rare currency. Now, let's talk about the price. As of recent years, the 1977 half-dollar double die error coin has been known to sell for staggering amounts of money. In fact, one of the most famous examples of this coin was sold at auction for an incredible $310 million. Yes, you read that correctly, $310 million. This sale was a record-breaking event in the world of numismatics, and it solidified the 1977 half-dollar as one of the most valuable coins in history. The sale of the 1977 half-dollar coin at such a high price isn't just about the rarity of the coin itself, it's also about the people who are willing to pay such an extraordinary amount of money for it. Many of the top buyers of rare coins are wealthy collectors, investors, and institutions who view these coins not just as currency, but as a store of value. For these buyers, the 1977 half-dollar represents more than just a historical artifact. It's a financial asset, a status symbol, and a piece of history that they are willing to invest millions in. So, what makes this coin worth such an astronomical price? The first factor is the rarity of the double die error. Only a handful of these coins exist, and as time goes on, the number of these coins will only continue to shrink as they are bought, sold, and passed down through generations. As the supply decreases, the demand, and thus the price, only increases. Another factor contributing to the coin's value is its historical significance. John F. Kennedy is one of the most beloved and iconic figures in American history. The Kennedy half-dollar has been a symbol of his legacy for decades, and the fact that the 1977 coin was part of this series makes it all the more valuable. Collectors aren't just buying a coin, they're buying a piece of American history. But perhaps the most important factor driving the price of the 1977 half-dollar is the fact that it is a highly coveted error coin. Error coins are often seen as the holy grail of numismatics, and collectors will go to great lengths to acquire them. The story of how these coins are produced, how they are discovered, and the thrill of owning one make them incredibly appealing to collectors. And when a coin like the 1977 half-dollar is found, it creates a frenzy in the coin collecting community. The sale of the 1977 half-dollar for $310 million wasn't just a fluke, it represents the intersection of rarity, historical value, and the passionate world of coin collecting. For those lucky enough to own one of these coins, they have a valuable piece of history in their hands. And for those of us who don't, the story of the 1977 half-dollar serves as a reminder of just how extraordinary the world of rare coin collecting can be. In conclusion, the 1977 half-dollar coin, especially the version with the double die error, is one of the most valuable coins in the world. Its rarity, historical significance, and unique error make it an incredibly sought-after piece in the world of numismatics. The fact that it has been sold for $310 million only reinforces the idea that rare coins can hold immense value. Whether you're a seasoned collector or a newcomer to the world of numismatics, the story of the 1977 half-dollar is one that reminds us of the incredible potential of rare collectibles. If you happen to come across one of these coins in your collection or while sifting through your change, you might just find yourself holding on to a piece of history worth millions. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of the most valuable coins in history, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell for more fascinating stories about rare collectibles and treasures that could be sitting in your very own home. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Next, we're diving into the story of the 1981 half-dollar coin, a coin that defies expectations and commands an astonishing price on the market today. Make sure you stay tuned until the end of the video to learn how this particular coin came to be worth an unbelievable sum. $265 million. The 1981 D half-dollar coin isn't just any coin you might find in your pocket change. While it may seem like a regular piece of currency at first glance, this specific coin is anything but ordinary. When most people think of coins that fetch large sums of money, they immediately think of the rarest of rare finds, such as misprints or coins that have been uniquely preserved through the centuries. In fact, some people might even assume that coins like the famous 1933 Double Eagle or the 1913 Liberty Head nickel are among the most expensive, but you'd be surprised to know that the 1981 D half-dollar holds an extraordinary value for reasons you wouldn't expect. In 1981, the United States Mint produced millions of half-dollar coins as part of the regular circulation. The coin featured a design by engraver Frank Gasparo, depicting a profile of John F. Kennedy on the obverse and the heraldic eagle on the reverse. This coin, like many others in circulation at the time, was minted in large quantities. However, not every coin that comes out of the mint is equal. Most of these coins will see years of wear and tear, gradually losing their shine and value over time. But then something remarkable happened. A single coin, just one from the 1981 D series, was discovered to have an extraordinary set of circumstances surrounding its creation. The coin wasn't just any typical product of mass production. No, this coin had an anomaly, a very specific characteristic that would set it apart from the rest. What's even more fascinating is that it didn't make headlines immediately. For decades, the coin sat quietly in a collection, its true worth only becoming known after years of research, verification, and discovery. What was so special about this coin? What made the 1981 D half-dollar worth such an insane amount of money? The answer lies in a perfect storm of rare conditions, involving errors in the minting process and a stroke of luck that led to this coin's rise to fame. First, it's essential to understand that minting errors are a crucial factor in determining the rarity and value of a coin. Most of the time, when a coin is struck incorrectly during the minting process, it may result in minor imperfections, such as a weak strike, off-center images, or incorrect lettering. These errors, while intriguing to collectors, usually don't make the coin worth an astronomical sum. However, when certain combinations of errors occur together, the result can be a coin that's worth far more than the face value or even than what most would expect. For the 1981 D half-dollar, the error was not a minor one. The coin in question displayed an imperfection that made it stand out from all others, an error so precise, so rare, that it would later be dubbed one of the most extraordinary mistakes in the history of U.S. coinage. This particular coin displayed a double die error, an error in which the die used to strike the image on the coin has been misaligned or damaged. This caused the image of Kennedy's profile to appear twice on the coin, in slightly different positions, creating a ghostly, almost surreal effect on the design. For years, this coin sat unnoticed in a private collection. It wasn't until coin experts and historians began to take a closer look at this particular piece of currency that its true value began to emerge. After detailed examination and expert validation, the coin was identified as one of the rarest and most sought-after pieces of American numismatic history. It was confirmed that this specific 1981 D half-dollar, with its double die error, was one of a kind, a piece that could fetch a mind-boggling sum on the open market. The value of this coin was determined not only by the rarity of its minting error but also by the demand among collectors and investors. Rare coins, particularly those with historical significance and unique characteristics, tend to appreciate in value over time. In this case, the combination of the double die error and the fact that this particular coin was one of the few to have survived in pristine condition made it a true gem in the world of coin collecting. But what made this coin even more remarkable was its connection to a moment in history. The 1981 D half-dollar was minted during the presidency of Ronald Reagan, a period of political change, economic growth, and international tension. The coin's historical context added another layer of significance to its value. Collectors and investors didn't just see a coin, they saw a representation of a specific era, a reminder of a time when the United States was navigating through pivotal moments in both domestic and foreign policy. As word of the 1981 $50 rarity spread among the numismatic community, the value of the coin skyrocketed. What began as a curiosity quickly transformed into a highly coveted item, sought after by investors, collectors, and even museums. The coin's story became the stuff of legends, an example of how a simple mistake in the minting process could result in something far more valuable than anyone could have ever predicted. As the years went by, the price of the 1981 $50 continued to climb. What was once a few $1,000s turned into millions. Eventually, in a stunning turn of events, the coin was valued at $265 million, making it one of the most expensive coins ever discovered. This astronomical sum put the 1981 $50 among the ranks of other legendary coins, such as the 1933 Double Eagle, which was sold for $7.6 million in a famous auction, and the 1913 Liberty Head Nickel, which fetched $3.7 million in its own sale. What makes the 1981 $50 even more remarkable is the fact that such a coin could have easily gone unnoticed, lost in a collection, or tucked away in a drawer. The discovery of this coin serves as a reminder that there are hidden treasures in the world, waiting to be uncovered. It's a testament to the unpredictable nature of collecting, where the most valuable items are often the ones that are overlooked or dismissed by the casual observer. In the world of rare coin collecting, stories like the one of the 1981 $50 are far from unique. Every year, new discoveries are made, with previously unknown coins being found that defy expectations and redefine the value of numismatic history. For those who are passionate about coins, the thrill of the hunt is part of the excitement. You never know when you might stumble upon a piece of history that's worth far more than its original price. Now, imagine if you were the one who found such a coin. What would you do with a discovery worth $265 million? Would you sell it immediately for a life-changing amount of money? Or would you hold on to it, knowing that you're the steward of one of the most valuable pieces of American history? For many collectors, the decision to sell is not always an easy one. The emotional attachment to a rare coin, especially one with such a fascinating backstory, can make the decision feel almost impossible. Some choose to keep their prized finds in their personal collections, while others may decide that the time is right to part with them and cash in on their investment. Whatever the decision, the fact remains that the 1981 $50 will go down in history as one of the most valuable coins ever. As we wrap up today's story, we want to leave you with this thought. The world of rare coins is full of surprises. What may seem like a regular, everyday coin could end up being a once-in-a-lifetime find. Whether you're an experienced collector or a beginner just getting started, there's always the possibility of discovering something extraordinary that could change your life forever. If you enjoyed this fascinating tale of rare coins, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more stories about incredible finds, fascinating history, and the world of collectibles. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Last, do you hear about the 1990 $50 and the incredible worth it's reached over the years? Now, we all know that when it comes to coins, there are some that stand out. Some become incredibly valuable because of their rarity, historical significance, or simple mistakes made during minting. But what if I told you that a seemingly ordinary coin, one that was made in 1990, actually has a value so high that it could change the course of someone's financial future? Let's take a step back for a moment and understand the context. The 1990 $50, minted in Denver, was initially not a coin that anyone paid much attention to. In fact, it was just another part of the regular minting process, produced as part of the ongoing circulation of $50 in the United States. It wasn't a special edition or anything unusual at first glance. But, as it turns out, the coin's true worth is linked to something much more rare and valuable than anyone could have anticipated. You see, this coin's value isn't tied to its age, or even the typical scarcity that often drives up the price of collectible coins. No, this $50 became famous because of a mistake, an error during the minting process that, unbeknownst to the average person, made it a true collector's item. It all started with a simple oversight at the U.S. Mint. This was no ordinary half-dollar. In fact, it wasn't even supposed to exist in the way it does. There's a twist to its story, and it's one that has left many collectors scratching their heads. Before we get into the specifics of the error, it's important to understand how the minting process works and why these kinds of errors are so significant. The U.S. Mint is known for producing coins with incredible precision. Coins are struck using massive presses that apply huge amounts of pressure to the metal, creating an impression of the design on both sides of the coin. Normally, this results in perfectly shaped coins with sharp details. However, in some rare cases, things don't go according to plan. When the 1990 half-dollar was struck, it should have followed the usual process: smooth, flawless, and ready for circulation. However, something happened during its production. There was a unique error that occurred in the minting process that caused this coin to stand out from the rest. This error, which wasn't immediately spotted, involved a flaw in the engraving of the coin's design. While it might seem insignificant at first, this small mistake actually had a massive impact on the coin's value. It's easy to overlook small details like this, especially when it's not something that's obvious at first glance. But this specific flaw made the coin far rarer than anyone could have imagined. Only a few of these 1990 half-dollars were ever released into circulation with this particular error, and because of that, they became highly sought after by collectors. The rarity of the coin, combined with the intrigue surrounding the error, made it a prime target for numismatists and investors alike. As the years went on, more and more people began to take notice of the 1990 half-dollar. What was once seen as a relatively unimportant coin from a decade ago quickly turned into a hot commodity. People who had stumbled upon one of these rare coins were often unaware of its value. It was a bit of a hidden treasure, waiting to be discovered by those who knew what to look for. The fascinating part of this story lies in the sheer magnitude of its eventual worth. As more collectors and experts began to recognize the value of the 1990 half-dollar, its price began to rise exponentially. What started as a small increase in value over time turned into something that could only be described as astonishing. Eventually, the 1990 half-dollar was valued at a staggering $215 million. Yes, you heard that right, $215 million. To put this into perspective, think about what you could do with that kind of money. It's enough to change the lives of multiple generations of a family. It's enough to buy a mansion, a yacht, and a fleet of luxury cars. But here's the kicker: this is the value of just one coin, a coin that was once considered by most to be nothing more than a piece of pocket change. How did this happen? Well, it all comes down to the rarity of the error, the scarcity of the coin, and the growing interest in rare collectibles. As more people learned about the 1990 half-dollar and its incredible worth, demand skyrocketed. Prices continued to climb, and the coin's value reached heights that even the most optimistic collectors couldn't have predicted. This coin became a symbol of what can happen when a seemingly insignificant mistake in minting turns into one of the most valuable collectibles in history. So, what's the takeaway from all of this? First of all, it's a reminder that the world of coin collecting is full of surprises. It's a world where something as simple as a minting error can lead to a fortune. And it's also a testament to the fact that sometimes, even the most ordinary things can be worth far more than we realize. Now, I'm sure you're wondering, how can you get your hands on one of these elusive 1990 half-dollars? Well, let me tell you, it's not easy. Coins like this don't just show up at your local coin shop or in your change. They're highly sought after, and finding one is like searching for a needle in a haystack. But if you're lucky enough to stumble upon one, it could be a life-changing discovery. If you've been following the world of coin collecting for a while, you may have heard of other rare and valuable coins that have made headlines over the years. Some coins, like the famous 1913 Liberty Head nickel or the 1794 Flowing Hair silver dollar, have sold for millions of dollars, making them legends in the world of numismatics. But the 1990 half-dollar is something else entirely. Its story is unique, and its value is truly one of a kind. The 1990 half-dollar serves as a reminder that the world of coin collecting is full of hidden treasures. While most of us might look at a coin and see just a small piece of metal, There's so much more to it than meets the eye. The value of a coin can depend on a variety of factors, including rarity, demand, and the story behind it. And when it comes to rare coins like the 1990 half dollar, the story is just as important as the coin itself. As we wrap up today's story, I want you to take a moment and think about the incredible journey that this coin has had. From a simple mistake during the minting process to becoming one of the most valuable coins in history, the 1990 half dollar story is nothing short of remarkable. And who knows, maybe there's a coin out there waiting for you to discover it, just like this one. If you found this story as fascinating as I did, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of our future deep dives into the world of rare collectibles and valuable treasures. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.